It is literally Sunday today, and I have so many things I need to catch up on this week. Y'all know the drill: paperwork and basically phone calls. So I need to take care of that this week. I don't know. I'm reading this book right now. Tuesday nights in. Let me grab it real quick. I'm reading this book right now, Tuesday Nights in 1980 by Molly Prentice, because reading has been helping me to basically articulate my thoughts a lot clearer. And it's a fun thing to do, to articulate your, self just in general. It's by Molly Prentice, and she is a good writer because I like how she writes. I'm very picky about how people write their book. I don't like it to be too boring, and I don't like it to be too over the top dramatic. I don't like it to be theatrical. This one is right in the middle. It's perfectly theatrical, but not over the top, and it's not so boring to where I don't want to read the sentences. It's actually just a really enjoyable book to read. I don't work today because I left my job at Burlington, and I should be starting my job at this smoke shop pretty soon. But we have a lot of space and time to do just the little things to make sure that we're staying, focused on how we need to deliver ourselves in our community and our towns, because literally just going out shopping with my children or going out to the park, or you never know when you're going to need to make a post online, or make a comment towards someone, or make an impression. I think you never know when you're going to want to make an impression on someone, so it's so important to just remember to stay focused. Yeah, we basically need to stay powdered up so that we're not melting, or what's the word, dissolving away into toxicity or into bad habits or bad patterns. We want to make an impression every morning and afternoon we are awake, because I am a morning person. So it's just important for me to make an impression, during the day, where just waking up, and I'm fierce on the sunlight, and I just know that my attitude or my presence is going to bring a certain kind of fruition. It's just that fruition is going to be the impression that I'm making that day, and it could just be every other day. But we need to make sure that we're at least taking time per day or per every other day to make an impression, and not just wallowing in aloneness. Because if we're alone, we're just thinking we're fine. It's good to relax, but if we're alone too much, then it's just not healthy. And it's healthier to go out, conversate, but not even just to conversate, just really to love yourself and to make an impression on yourself, whether that's online or with your children. And for your children, that could just be making money. So for me, that's just okay. I know I'm going to look too out there if I'm making this post about cosplay, when I want to make a post about business on this platform, basically. And I don't want the two to mix. So let me see how I can, talk with someone at the shop. Let's just conversate and see where the conversation brings us. And basically, if it's a good conversation, then that's a good highlight for your day, because no one else is just going up to people to have conversation. A lot of people are very private or self-centered, but I like to be a little less self-centered and more selfless. So making an impression by conversating with people, and separating work life from play is important. But being a boss in your own world is important. But remembering to rest, every other day, just not overdoing yourself and overstepping your boundaries, but basically bringing light into your mind by bringing um, a new dialect into your tongue, which is important because you don't want to just get wrapped up in stuff that isn't important. You want to wrap yourself in books and conversation and good tea and good money and how to build and sustain and provide, etc., 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 because no one is going to learn that but you. So it's also learning that, but learning time management, learning to stay still, learning to stay focused, learning to trust yourself, learning to walk with integrity, and basically to be endurant, but to walk faithfully but humbly, side by side with your peers or with people who are teaching you or showing you a new path, because there's people who are your teachers, and then there's people who are your peers, and so there's a big gap in between when it comes to your peers and your teachers. Your children can be your teachers. It's just very complex how you can decipher yourself, or how I can decipher myself. So that's something that I'm practicing, is sustaining my balance with basically a good attitude, a good spirit, good food, of course, good conversation, of course, and just really trusting myself and facing myself and my spirit, especially now that I have more time after leaving Burlington, because I have so much more time now, and I'm supposed to start at this smoke shop pretty soon, but you never know what's going to happen, day by day, and just being a face on this vessel that we're in is really a practice too, because you don't want to let yourself fall into darkness, or basically abusing your privilege. Abusing your privilege is toxic, and I need and we need to learn that privilege is something that we can use as a tool to work with, to grow. If you poison your privilege, you're basically, you know, messing yourself up. But it's just important to remember, because I need to articulate, I need to grow in my words and conversation and everything. I need to be more present in my spirit and in my vessel, in myself. And if that means reading my books and really taking time to, just take what people have taught me with a grain of salt and just keep going and moving forward, rowing the boat basically, and just getting the tools I need to enjoy the adventure without it going and being overkill, then I can definitely do that. But anyway, that was just a little tea, because I'm just thinking a lot about conversation and integrating your spirit to your mind, and just really taking what you've learned or what I've learned with a grain of salt and putting that with my daily activities, so that I'm not just falling into chores and children, but that I'm also falling into my studies in the kingdom. But that's a process in itself. That means not going overkill with a lot of stuff that's on the internet, basically, just with anime and cartoons. But as a someone who's always loved cartoons, I'm definitely a cartoonist. I literally just can't put that down sometimes. So it's a guilty pleasure because I love my show anime, and it's really hard to just give it up because that's how I move forward is by, you know, seeing direction. But your children teach you, your family teaches you, you know, life teaches you, and you want to be present and aware. So putting myself in a book is also a new habit, and it's a good habit. So I'm practicing cultivating, you know, my rainbow, my light that comes after the storm of, you know, our situations, and just putting that into fruition with God's word and the kingdom, but also with school and just, you know, being in, integrated with in my own state of thinking. I don't have a lot to say today, and sometimes I don't have a lot to say at all, but it's just important to learn to say more because no one is going to speak for you. And sometimes I feel like we allow our storm to basically cloud our vision and cloud our minds so that we're sitting in fear instead of faith. But it's important to sit in faith instead of fear, even when you're by yourself, because that's how you're going to grow. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.
Which is by far the meanest of all the bears. Whoever does worse this time will be eliminated. Curtis, you decided this mystery to search. Bakers, the crime scene kitchen is open and ready for your ancient food. Ricky and DJ, start your search. We spend in the kitchen to examine the same clues.
We cannot miss the garbage can clue this time. It's imperative.
I see you. I see you. Why are you so cute? Why are you so cute? I love you. I love you. Oh, you about to cry? Don't cry. I've been working on the railroad all the day. All the day. I said, your hair is so handsome. You got such a handsome shaped head.
I'm trying to fix it, okay? I'm trying my best.
You mean design it? You're trying to design it.
Yeah.
Again, ladies and gents, quiet, please, because it's time to meet the man of the moment. Please welcome to the stage our host, former England rugby captain, a true hero, and our very own gladiator.